I was just telling my homeboy the other day we need to support more black culture, black product, black work. I mean, and even become more of a producer instead of being so much of a consumer for so long. Like I was just telling, like me and my girl was talking about some stuff because she's trying to work and uh, bring more of a better foundation long term for herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling her like the number one thing is saving and bringing your own income because she's working and has her own job, but at the same time she's an entrepreneur and she has
Mm-hmm.
like her own dog care system and all that. But that's another story. The point is to be something in this world at this point, especially us as African Americans, after everything, as a minority, which is be in general,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And even in the standard of what right now is middle class, because a lot of people don't recognize this. Middle class is small now. It's
Mm-hmm.
a thin line.
Mm-hmm.
So people don't. If you think there's a thin line between poverty or wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and that means there's a big chasm that you might think is a small line, but there's a big chasm between poverty and wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you have to start with a better understanding of how you're going to build your income
Mm-hmm.
at a young age. Like the sad part is, like we think that we all know it's common sense. Come
Mm-hmm.
on now, common sense. You cannot even two people in a household with one income, most of the time average
Mm-hmm.
income, can't live.
Not right now, at least.
Not at
No.
least right now. Right now.
Like I always say, because it's like now it's like everybody's got to have two side hustles and like to make things work, because it's just like brutal
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
like I don't know. I talk about capitalism a lot with my friends. I'm quite the pessimistic person when it comes to just like, because it's really sad. This like the state of like walk down Portland and it's just like all these different issues with like the houseless community, and it's just like nobody's actually trying to like solve these problems in an empathetic way.
No, there's like finding ways to complain about it to get elected, but not
Right.
like the
Bro,
solutions are.
it had me so mad earlier. Like I was walking, I think it was by 33rd in Killingsworth, and I was just walking back there because I was just coming from a friend's house, and like I'm walking past her, and it's this girl, a lady and her child sitting there asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't got a lot. I just came home. I'm not working like that and none of that right now. So it's just like I'm building up.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I walk past and I'm like looking past and all these people just keep walking past her, like not even like at least give her $1. That's a
Mm-hmm.
child, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get that we gotta live.
Mm-hmm.
We got things to do, but you can't even at least drop a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I took $1 out of my pocket. I said, "Man, I'm sorry, I ain't got much, but here,
Right.
you
Mm-hmm.
feel me?"
Mm-hmm.
But that's how sad we are as a people now, and we're so much of a consumer. Being so much of a consumer too, we don't
Mm-hmm.
even think about this, and
Right.
this is really crazy. If we're so much of a consumer, we don't think about what you need, the person on the street need,
Mm-hmm.
the dude on the corner needs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think about that. Why? We're trying to get our product. We're trying to get what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to build up. But when we're a producer, then we have the avenues and the ways to give back to the community, ways to build up our community.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, as we live in this community right now, we have a hard problem with the family dynamic
Mm-hmm.
and community dynamic. You remember the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child? There's no village
Yes.
no more.
There is absolutely no village. It is self, 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 self. We're very self-centered in the way that like society moves, and it's sad because it's people wonder why it's like so many mental health issues and so many like why people are sad, like why people are because we've lost that connection and we lost the
Exactly.
empathy of just like understanding each other,
Exactly.
and it's just like it's sad.
Okay, but to pull that around, talking about this program,
That's
and
perfect.
seriously, like the way when I came back in, after last summer when they let me back in,
Mm-hmm.
you had already built up in like one of the most dehumanizing environments you could possibly be in. You'd built up this like collective of guys that really supported each other, and it was already ready to go. Like I thought I was going to come in and be like, "Hey, everybody, I'm Nate. I work for this organization,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah." And you guys were just like, "Just give me the equipment. We're plugging it in. We know what to do." And but it's like that's a place to start. Is just in these little ways that we find to build community, whether it's in prison doing music or out here finding ways to connect.
That's
That's
real.
what we got. And I know that you're saying there's no connection, but I know both of you find ways to connect every day.
True.
So,
True.
That is true.
that's where we start.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with heart. You know what I mean? Like
It's not easy.
it's not. At the end of the day, it's really like, bro. Like it's a back of your mind. If you know the whole like good guy, bad guy kind of theory. It's like you have that person telling you like, bro, you on your last, man. I'm like, why you worry about that person right there? But then the other one's telling you in your heart, which is your heart, and it's telling you like, you need to at least help or reach out for that person, because a lot of people don't reach out no more. And like even with the music stuff, like the reason why we did it and kept it up so well is because we started reaching out to each other. Like I reached out to Messiah. I reached out to Mo. I reached out to a lot of people that I felt that were ready to take a position of trying to at least create something or help build something or build up something. You know what I mean? And like all the guys that were there, they felt so comfortable with it. And then like how I moved and how I communicated with people and how I talked to the people and how I guess in that type of environment, I mean, you've been in it and you can feel the energy. It's a very negative environment. So to be positive in that environment, that means you have to low key like escape your mind and like literally protect it. Like when I say escape your mind, when I say that, I mean like literally every day you're picturing what you used to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you literally have to put a bubble around it just to keep yourself sane. There's a lot of people that do that. Oh man, I remember that time when I was on the block, man. They story tell to keep their mind in that bubble because they don't like the fact that they're in that cage.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And well, I heard somebody when we were there making the documentary, there was somebody talking about how I heard one of the interviews saying like, some guys in here just like sleep as much as they can and don't do anything. And this group of guys in here is like doing stuff and they're writing all the time. Like every time I bring in notebooks, everybody's like, "Give me that notebook. I need another notebook."
Oh yeah.
It's like, but it's like that takes a lot of discipline to be focused on like something like positive and optimistic. Like you're creating. You're making something that didn't exist before instead of just avoiding.
Because it's giving you escape, man. Like added on top of that, it's like you're in an environment that you can't say what you want to say. You know what I mean? Like there's some times like I'll be like, man, I'll be hot. And like I'll just write like out of the top of my head something just to get it off my mind. And then out of nowhere it's created such a beautiful piece. Like free my brother Mo. Mo has like no joke, like 4 notebooks under his bunk right now. Plus maybe 2 more he's writing in right now.
No, he's a very prolific writer. It's clear.
All to work every day. I promise you. I remember one time I went out to work and I was only gone for 30 minutes and came back. He already had a song done.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, bro, wait, hold up. What? Like, bro, you already finished it, bro? Like, I just left and you was just at the first start of it. It's like, bro, I just felt like I had something to say.
And I have to say, in the time since last summer to now, I think a lot of you guys really have, like developed your own style and delivery and branched out. Like, and I think Mo's a good example. He stays so busy, tries lots of different things.
Yeah,
singing a little bit now.
Yeah, that's my brother. He follow after his big bro.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But it's part of it is the way you guys support each other and encourage like the branching out and try and people getting up there that never done it before, like to just be like stand in front of everybody else and just
And say something.
record. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool.
Oof.
It's fun. I love it.
I wanted to like take it back a little bit. Just because I'm curious, what has been your relationship to music, just from your background, being in the CRC studio, and then
All right, so I'm gonna take it way back.
please do.
So, do y'all mind? All right, we'll just. I got to take that. So, what happened was I was 12 years old. So I was sitting in the front room. I used to sing all the time. I used to be in choir and all that before I started rapping. And I was sitting on the couch with my cousins. It's my cousin Marco, rest in peace. My cousin Tay, my cousin Trey, Joaquin, a couple other brothers. And so we chilling in the front room, and they all rapping, freestyling, doing their thing. Everybody learning, and like I'm sitting there and I'm listening and I'm trying to learn and I'm feeling the beat and everything else. And I was like, some, I'm a beat. And they looked at me and the whole like room just stopped and looked at me. It was like, bro, did you really just call yourself that? And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and just retreat it back, right? And but after that day, I was like, man, I'm never gonna get in that type of situation and rap. And so I remember one song I said, it was funny. It was when it was kids. It was kids. But me and my cousin wrote this song. It was called Nike. Like step in the light with your Nikes on. Step, with your Nikes on. And my cousin used to laugh. It was funny as so hell. But that's how I progressed from calling myself to that. And then as I kept going, I got to the point where I worked with a couple of people. They wanted me to be a part of a label. I worked for them a little bit, and then things kind of went bad. Moved on. Kept writing music. Kind of got discouraged around that time, though. But I still kept writing music. Kept having a love for it. You know what I mean? And then as I got a little older, and around the time I had my son, I worked with another group of people, and I was about to go to California to do my first music video, all that. Right before, a couple of days before I was going to jail, and then I got locked up. After that, I kept in contact with the guys, stuff of that nature, try to make sure things was right. Kind of wanted to go that path with them, but at that point in time in my life, I had to realize something. What type of person I want to be. What type of words do I want to say? What type of vibe I want to put out. What type of legacy I want to leave behind. Because words are a legacy, depending on how you say it and who you say it in front of. You know what I mean? And you got to use that in the right way. So I thought about that, and I started using my music in a different avenue instead of just doing metaphors all day. And it's cool. It's nice to have metaphors. I get it, but metaphors ain't really always that when it comes to what it means to be who you are. Speak about where you from. You know what I mean? If you know about a bodega, be at a talk about the bodega. If you know about the market, go about the market. If you know about the corner store up the street, Mr. Green's, talk about Mr. Green's. You feel me? So a lot of people don't do that nowadays. Some people do. It's starting to progress that way. Thank God that's the movement. But when they were doing all that other stuff, a lot of people were getting misguided. You know what I mean? And music is like a real big avenue when it comes to teaching or guiding someone the right or wrong way. You know what I mean? And that's why music needs to go back to that path. And I feel like that personally. I mean, don't get me wrong. I listen to Lil Babies. I love that because he talk about where he from. He talk about what he about. I love Dave East. I love J. Cole's. I love all these artists, you know what I mean, because they're saying about what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I like all the other ones that have that little nice little beat and tone and
Mhm.
stuff, but sometimes they ain't saying nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to you for the beat, not for what you saying, bro. Because all you doing is really the beat selling, not you.
Mm. How do you think you've gone to the place to where it's like you are authentically yourself in your music? Because that's like you said, that's really hard for some people. Some people want to be that persona. They want to, put out something that they're not. But like, what did it take for you to get there?
Well, it took me, I'm going to be honest, there's no authentic artist. This is some real ass shit right here. I'm going to say this right now. There is no real authentic artist. There's always, I can tell you right now, I studied J. Cole, Lil Babies. I even go back, go even far back, Tupac, Denzel Curry, a lot of artists. I studied artists, right? And then depicted from their style to make my own, right? But that's not calling me original. I'm just crafting, mastering other people's style to make something more original or new or different or a new vibe or a new feel. But it's the same. It's the same network that it came through. You feel me? So it has to be like that. Like a lot of poetry is rap. A lot of rap is poetry. Same thing, vice versa.
Yeah, but you think you can be authentic, maybe not 100% original, not invented out of whole cloth, but like still be authentic by having your own unique blend of what comes from you and then from your influences and stuff.
I could say the uniqueness of it is my story.
Mm-hmm.
The uniqueness if it is my story because of my story is the same as to a lot of people, but it's different because you don't know the detail. So when I get to the detail and I talk about my struggle, then you're like, okay, that's original. You know what I mean? I'm living a life of, oh, this kid's been through this and this and that. Mistakes, like that song Mistakes, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I literally wrote that because I was picturing the day I'll get out.
Yeah, it's incredible, and it's really powerful because you can tell you mean it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
The sound might not be so original because maybe in the uniqueness of the voice a little bit, but the sound is may not be original because there's probably somebody that's done the same cadence or same vibe before. It's just the words. It's what you say. That's what's original.
I don't know music theory, but I know that like there's like people say that like there's nothing original that can be done in music, which is always really interesting because it's like I'm also in the thinking too of like our experiences are uniquely our experiences. So like I just think that it's a really interesting take for sure.
But like even because on one hand, yeah, everything's been like there's only so many combinations of notes and beats and whatever, right? But then like you take a piece of music that's hundreds of years old, like Bach cello suites, and 10 different people play exactly the same thing, and they all did it right, and it sounds different. Like it hits you different from each one,
Right.
and so I don't know. There's a lot of room there's a lot of intangibles, I think, in terms of like the like the uniqueness of each person delivering it, even if it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also why live is so and can be such an intense. Like you could hear a song 100 times and then see somebody do it live and it hits you totally different.
It changes the whole vibration.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Because some songs sound good when it's on the record, but it sounds horrible in live.
Well, there's a lot
There's
of
a couple of times I've heard something. I'm just like, bro, this song's hot. He gonna do this hot, and I'm listening. I'm like, this is horrible, dog. Why did I even want to come to this? You feel me? Like I'm just partying. Oh yeah, I might as well just party.
And I've had the opposite where I've really liked something live and then been like, oh, listen to it later and be like, nah, I don't need to.
Right.
Yeah.
It can just be that one experience and that's cool.
Right.
You know?
As somebody who had like a leadership position in the CRCI studio program, how do you how did you see your style evolve and other style like people's styles evolve as well?
Ooh, I've seen the biggest progress I've seen somebody evolve in that group of people was Mo to me. Hef is nice too. Hef was nice, but he's always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been that way. So it's like I'm not surprised
Mm-hmm.
with Hef, but Mo is the one I like. Because he's so versatile now. Like before, he had like this like okay, like all right, cool, bro, but then he blew like past that and just like evolved and started really tapping into his real emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and that created him a avenue to write what he's writing now. And then like my own, like I feel like I just took a new avenue in some of my music. Like before, I used to just do like freestyles and stuff, and then I started really like actually taking that time and writing it, and
Mm-hmm.
like really looking at what I'm saying at the same time as like using different words, different vocabulary,
Mm-hmm.
different ways of going at it instead
Mm-hmm.
of just like sitting around and just saying this or that or this or that common
Mm-hmm.
words.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Some people rap common words. There ain't
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that, and I don't have nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some people need to take it to the next level and
Mm-hmm.
like start adding a new concept
Mm-hmm.
to their
That's
art.
real. Mm-hmm. I think some people can be like really good at wordplay and don't like necessarily need all the metaphors and things like that. But it's just like I think what gets it for me too is like emotion and like how you're able to translate yourself through those
Exactly.
words.
I
Like
feel you.
so since we're on just like talking about folks in and then just like the experience, what would you say to folks right now who are still in and then like maybe somebody who maybe shifted into that leadership role?
I definitely say to the bros that's locked up right now, man, all y'all, man, keep your head up. It's all right. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? Whatever problems you're going through, you can get past it. God got you. Um, to my brothers that's doing this leadership and taking the next role, man, understand and be patient. Not everybody you're gonna get along with, but you got to put that to the side
Mm.
to help people build up. As well, like also don't let nobody tell you no when it comes to your dreams. Everybody, locked up or out on the streets, anybody. Don't ever let nobody tell you no to your dreams. Because at the end of the day, it's only you. It's you versus you.
Mm-hmm.
I said a bar one time. I said, it's me versus me, and the rest is annoying.
Right.
You feel me?
No, that's real.
Yeah.
And that's what life is about. So if you believe in yourself and the only person that you got to fight is yourself, the rest of that, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just stacking weight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, damn, that's real. Like, the biggest battle that we're going to have is internal with ourselves. It's just like, nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to believe for you.
Right.
You have to take that initiative. So that's really real. Um, but yeah, I want to kind of like just pivot a little bit. Just to talk about you. What is your? Correct me if I'm wrong. You've been out for about
Like 3 weeks, something like that.
okay, 3 weeks. How's your transition been from being in and then now? Like, have there been resources and programs in place to help you? Like, what's been going on with you?
I mean, I already had like a good foundation behind me, family wise. Um, but working with my PO and a little bit of stuff like that, I mean, they're having small stuff there, and I believe there's stuff out here. You know, um, I've seen a couple people get what they needed. Right now, they're already even automatically jumped off the jump. And I'm on Translate. They were like, "Well, we'll work on and try to figure out housing for you, like getting your own house, your own apartment."
Mhm.
So I'm like, "Dang, okay, hey." chop
Mhm.
chop. I
Right.
needs that.
Mhm.
I'm staying with moms, and moms is starting to get annoying. I'm just
Mhm.
gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
I love my mama, but she is getting on my nerves. But no, I mean, like, everything's good. Um, I believe they need more resources though,
Mhm.
personally.
Mhm.
At least some more help. Because like when I came, like even when my ID and stuff, they told me I can go get my ID, but it like took me having to actually tell them like, hey bro, I need help to get my ID. Like it
Mhm.
literally had I was like, instead of just telling them off the jump, hey, we got you, we'll give you ID or whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, beyond that, they've been nice and they helped out, but they need more resources.
Mhm. Mhm.
So allocate that money somewhere.
Mhm.
Stop playing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just like on that note of like being out, how has it been rebuilding those social connections and yeah, your support system?
So with my mom and my mother and my mother and my father
Mhm.
and my brother, it's been cool. We're working things through. My mom had to take a couple of days because she had to readjust because she's just like still kind of about everything.
Mhm.
Um, that's nice though. It's
Mhm.
fine. Still, like I said, it's been kind of annoying, but
Mhm.
she's just trying to adjust the fact that, oh, I'm grown now. I'm like really
Mhm.
grown, and she can't tell me nothing. And I'm like,
Mhm.
Ma, you can't tell me nothing. Like,
Mhm.
calm that down.
Mhm.
But we ain't gonna go that picture right now. For family wise, cousins and stuff like that, like, man, like I've been really observative when it comes to family.
Mhm.
Like, I'm checking out where you at.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, what's your demeanor? What you really doing when I'm not around? Like, who you kick it with? Who you kick it with when I am around? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because like, I'm not gonna follow the same road, and I love my family, but bruh, I'm not going backwards.
Mhm.
Period.
Mhm.
Point blank.
Mhm.
Nah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I've took this time to progress and become something better. So at this point, I'm not gonna go backwards and
Mhm.
allow myself to do that. So I
Mhm.
had to cut off some family since I've been home. But
Mhm.
beyond that, my family think I'm mean because I'm really blunt. And I'm just honest about things. And
Mhm.
they're just like, bro, you're mean. But they love
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
It's
I,
one of those things like you love me, but
mhm.
I'm blunt. I'm gonna say what it is and what I gotta say.
I mean, is it really mean though? Because it's just like that you need like to protect your energy, and it's just like,
They just scared of
man,
it.
it's just like that to me is like really important. It's like if somebody's around you, it's always negative.
Right.
It's always not positive. Eventually, that energy is gonna get on you. I'm very like, even just like I keep minimal contact of like, you gotta be on positive vibes. You gotta be,
Right.
and especially for where you're at right now in your life,
Yeah.
moving forward, that is incredibly important. So, I mean, I'm proud of you because
Thank you.
like,
I appreciate it.
hmm
I appreciate it.
you know,
100%.
I feel like it can be tough, but it's like you gotta choose you. Hmm.
It's just about I said something the other day. Woo, this is deep. Actually, I said this just the other day. I said, success is to those who work for it. Harvest is to those who sacrifice. Sometimes you got to sacrifice to get your harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's cool to have success, but a harvest is something that's plentiful,
Mm-hmm.
continuous. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like you can continue off of that,
Mm-hmm.
and that means it comes with some form of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I want to ask too, cause like, um, earlier we were talking about music. Um, since being out, have you been able to make music? Or what is your accessibility to like resources and things like that been like?
So I'm supposed to meet up with my dude that's like doing like studio stuff
Mm-hmm.
this week. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
um, I have gone to a studio for like a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just like, I don't feel it. It was just the energy and the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be careful with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just stayed for a second and left. And then like beyond that, I've been writing music, working
Mhm.
on a little bit of things here and there.
Mhm.
Really been like in and out, working a lot, trying to figure out stuff and everything else.
Mhm.
So it's like right now, accessibility is there.
Mhm.
I just haven't got the chance to really do everything because I've been really busy with
Mhm.
family, and it was a passing in the family just recently, and
Mhm.
then a new baby just been born, and
You got a lot going on.
yeah,
Mhm.
man, a funeral.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm just like, bro,
Oh
what's
man.
up going
Yeah.
on?
Mhm.
And it was my mom's sister, so it hit
Oh
her
wow.
harder. It was my auntie.
Wow.
I rest in peace. She was getting on my nerves though, but we know this is out of love. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot.
Mhm.
it's a lot going
3
on.
weeks.
Mhm.
As soon as I came home, like my nephew was born. Actually, the crazier part is my nephew was named after me and my cousin's homeboy that passed away while I've been gone. So he named him after him. So his name is Elijah. So I was just like, man,
Yeah, it's heavy.
it's crazy.
Mhm. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, you good.
Mhm.
It's just life. That's how it goes, you know. I mean, being locked up too. I don't know why, but I'm gonna tell you, it's crazy. I mean, for me personally, death ain't really. It's not too big to me no more.
Mhm.
And like, I don't. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't feel that pain. You think about it. You think about the family. You think about the
Mhm.
loved ones, but it doesn't hurt as much. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's
Mhm.
confusing or conflicting, but it's like this. You'll drop a tear, but then move on, kind of thing.
I feel like, unfortunately, like, again, back to just like where we're at in society and as black people, like, a lot of times it's just like you have to move forward because it's like you can't even take a second to like fully feel that. So I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Um, because it's just life keeps moving, and like I'm curious, what are the things that you're doing to take care of yourself and just like
Oh, I work out. I definitely spend time to myself. My mom actually trips out because when I'm home, I'm really calm. Like
mm,
she's like, I don't get it. You're really, really calm. Like
mhm,
you don't make a noise when you're in your room or nothing. And she's like, it scares me sometimes. And I'm like, why? Because she's like, you used to like be wild down there, music bumping, everything
mhm,
going. I'm just like, I'm just not like that no more.
mhm,
I mean, because when I used to go to my bunk, if I'm at my bunk, I'm putting my headphones on, I'm chilling. I'm in that zone. Like
mhm,
I was talking about before, I'm
mhm,
in that zone. Like
mhm,
I'm in protection mode. Like don't
mhm,
come by my bunk unless I'm okay with you coming by me.
mhm.
It's just how it is.
Can
Um,
I pivot to asking you a couple things about your ideas about the program?
Yeah.
mm,
Because I'm curious, and now now that you've been out for a little bit and you've seen how it's grown in the last, well, the 5 years that it's changed so much in the time that you've done it, and then the time since post COVID that we've been working on it,
Yeah.
and I've been in there with you. I'm curious if you have ideas for where you'd like to, how you'd like to see us do things differently on the outside to support, or things that you'd like to see be possible inside. If like Hanley or the DOC changes what's possible, you know what I mean?
If they could change what's possible, one thing I would prefer for them to do is actually build a real studio for them.
Yeah.
A real art, like an art studio for them. Like you can, I don't, I mean, you talk about programs, you talk about rehabilitation, you talk about all this stuff. But reality is you give us mics, it's nice and all, it's good and all. But and actually, be honest, you give us the mic, so let's be honest. So
Yeah.
uh you give us that, we have that, and that's it. You know what I mean? You don't really have that area because you have a dudes with one mic and then like a bunch of dudes sitting in chairs in the background just talking. You
Yeah.
know, instead of having a real studio where you can have dudes going around and they can actually play guitar while the dudes in the booth because it's actually soundproof,
Yeah.
mhm,
so they can actually work on what they need to work on. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
Hmm.
Um, they need to do that. beyond that on the outside, I think y'all doing perfect right now because it takes times and takes steps, and I feel like I was just a part of the perfect time to help us build to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's time for somebody else to take it to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like Messiah and Mo and them all like they have ideas that's gonna take it to that next level. And I feel like I just took it to where we could get it now. You know what I mean? Because I had that vision of that, and it was nice. I had that vision at least for until I came home. That was my vision. At least have a really us pushing something forward. That's what actually that's what I used to tell you all the time. I was like, I really would like us to like be able to put this stuff where we're able to really work with people and out there, and you guys because you didn't have the resources, and so then everything turned around and became this, and I was like, man, at least I got to see that vision, but I feel like the rest of the guys got it. I feel like everybody in there has the vision that they need to have to build something better and build it up for more. They just need to tap into it. And I feel like the people around there right now will help people at least lead their say, hey man, we might need this. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why don't we break to this? Oh, why don't we bring this genre in more? Let's try to actually study art. Like we'll study jazz. We'll study this. We'll study blues, this or that, kind of, but I don't know. That's my
no, that's awesome.
opinion.
But Messiah had the idea the other day because this guy Aaron was having a hard time like understanding how to count bars out and stuff,
Yeah.
and I was trying to explain it to him, and then Messiah was like, we should just do like a peer class on a different day, get a classroom, and we just
Teach people how
yeah.
bars.
And I was like, oh yeah, you should do that. How can I support that? That's a great idea, and that we're gonna work on it. We'll see. But it's cool to see that there's lots of ideas all the time.
Yeah.
Coming, and the peer to peer stuff is amazing. I know Hanley likes that, so it's like
And they needed that anyways because a lot of dudes are learning too. Because there's guys in there that are been rapping for years. So there's a few of us in there that's been rapping for years that were doing it, and then now you got dudes that want to actually try to rap and they're actually learning. So they don't know about cadences. They don't know how to bring that flow, that feel, that vibe, that energy. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? It's so like having a class where you're starting to get that person to actually start, okay, I can count these. So, oh, wait. So if I can say this a certain way, oh, maybe I can twist my words or how I say it a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's beautiful. You need more of that.
I'm curious, like, if there are specific resources that guys maybe like that we don't know about that guys have asked for, or like, yeah, like, are there other resources or things that like you guys don't have or didn't have?
Let me think about it. I mean, we didn't have the iPods for long. We just got them right before
right before COVID.
Yeah, to have them in there and
Yeah,
stuff.
that was my genius idea where I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, if we use old ass iPods that don't have Bluetooth and don't have Wi-Fi and whatever,
They can't.
then it's probably fine.
Yeah.
And Hanley was like, sure. So I got a couple, but it was only a couple before COVID, and
Yeah.
then afterwards was like, can I just have like 10
Yeah.
and headphones? And they said yes. So it seems like that's been really cool because then multiple people can be working at the same time, like listening to stuff.
Exactly. Because a lot of the time that was a big thing because access to that, having that music, because we didn't only have like, excuse me, so we
Bless
didn't
you.
have like um like music, like instruments we can get to or instrumentals or anything like that. We didn't have that. Like the tablets, they don't play instrumentals.
No.
Like, and then especially since they switched it over to whatever it is now, we didn't have iHeart no more. So they don't so they don't even get the the opportunities to like you can search up iHeart and be like maybe find that one jewel out of random pieces out of things. You can't do that. So we didn't have that. So people when you're writing, some people I mean, I can write without a beat. You know what I mean? But some people like beats because it's a different feel, vibe, and energy. And sometimes that beat actually sometimes creates that aura or that energy for that person to rap what they need to rap for that. So, like, that was a big thing for us. You know what I mean? Other things in that, I don't know.
Sound booth would be dope.
Yeah.
No. That's why I said we need to build that's what I'm saying. They really need to build a freaking studio, like a real studio room, like a art. You could do it an art and slash studio room. I don't care, whatever. Just make a real studio room where it's a booth. So dudes can actually get in there and there's like clothes and they don't have to worry about
Well, one thing I thought about, and I mentioned to Hanley, and he was like, is that is of having that kind of thing where it's not a full-on studio because there's not really a space there that they can dedicate, but like just a one-person booth within a room so that at least you don't have to be shushing people.
No, that's what I was thinking.
And it still sounds like, well, kind of because the chapel's a shared space, and so just gonna keep asking every
just keep
4
asking,
months.
keep asking. Just keep asking. Because I talked to him about that like a couple years back about having one, and I was like, man, why don't we build one with like a clear plexiglass or whatever? That way you can see through it, so you can't say that it's because we can't see through it.
Oh, right. Well, that's the other thing. This is always rules that nobody
How
else would think about, you know.
No, but it's just the thing about it is a lot of it is the old ways comparison to what way they're trying to go now with this whole Norway project, and like the idealism between those two are like clashing right now, and they're clashing hard. Like when I say hard, I'm talking about hard. Like,
do you know what he's talking about?
No, I don't. I was just about to.
What in Norway? Oh yeah.
Well, some of the higher ups at Department of Corrections like went to Norway, which is considered like a model prison system, like a very humanized prison system, and was looking at bringing some of those ideas to the Oregon prison system. But you know, we are on like the opposite.
Incredibly behind.
Yeah, we're very, very far away from that, and so
very far away.
And it's not like they took a vote and 99% of Department of Correction employees agreed with that. It was like, you know, so there's tension even within the department.
There's high tension
about like, you know, having more peer-to-peer stuff, or no, you can't have a group of incarcerated guys without a badged volunteer or guard. You know, like there's different. So, and we're always trying to get clarity on this, and there's no clarity.
I'm just like, what is I don't know. I guess from my like brain, like I just like, what is to fight? I guess when we're dealing with like hundreds of years of systematic issues and oppression, and the fact that like prison is a business, so like unfortunately, I think that's really dope. I didn't even know that like they went out and did like some training. Well, it sounds like some good initiative, but like, yeah, that needs to
wrap it up.
Let's get it going.
Like, cause it's like there's dudes like they're hired there that want to play. Like they play games all the time, 2K stuff like that. You know how some dudes be talking the most mess. So I'm the best Hoover. We're not gonna get into that, but the point is, like, some COs be wanting like come over and play the game with us. They can't play. They can't come over and like just interact with us as humans, because to them, technical clauses, we're not human. We're a number, or we can go back down to all the logistics of things and just say like we're a slave, because that's what we are. Don't play with don't play with the animals. They leave them alone. They'll start coming to you, and they're gonna start problems for us. Kind of like that's the idealism of it. Instead of seeing it as he's a human being. That dude has a name. He has a family. He has kids. The man go to bed every night thinking about his kids, bro. Because I know damn well I am. I make sure my baby's tucked in every night. If I'm that type of guy, you know what I'm saying? And the dude's in there sitting on his bunk. laying there thinking about his kids because his kids he can't do nothing. Got to sit there 4 years, 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and think about how his child's gonna grow up without him, and there's nothing he can do. Something happened to his kid. You think he can do anything?
Wow, we're behind. We're not where we need to be.
Far from it.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, going back again to just like
Yeah.
because you've taken you took that leadership role in the program. Um I'm curious now that you're out, what are some of your professional interests? Are they in tandem with music, community?
I'm still trying to work on this counseling thing. I
Okay.
just did a lot of my FAFSA and getting myself ready for school for that. That's my biggest goal. With my music, that's still part of the plan as well as doing my music and stuff like that. But I kind of want to incorporate that into my foundation with my ideal of creating an institution where you have people facing their trauma
Mhm.
and using music and working out and art and all types of recreations
Mhm.
as coping skills
Mhm.
instead of oh, I gotta go run and go party tonight and go kick it with my friends or
Mhm.
go pick up some weed or some drugs just
Mhm.
because the simple fact is I'm bored.
Mhm.
You feel me?
Mhm.
Have other coping skills so they can be able to face the traumas that they had in their life
Mhm.
within having counseling and things of nature. So music is a part of what I'm doing because
Mhm.
art is what it is. It's healing process. It can
Mhm.
be a healing process for a lot of people,
Mhm.
and music is a big healing process for a lot of people. Think about it. Like, how many songs got you through a day?
A number.
You feel me?
A number.
You feel me? So,
Mhm.
like, especially when I came home, I can tell you right now, Lil Baby, something to prove.
Mhm.
That was the song that got
Mm.
me through that day. I had something to prove that day. That I'm home, I'm here, and I'm not playing.
Mhm. That's real. Yeah.
But that's my goal. That's
Mhm.
something I want to do. That's my idealism. Beyond that, I'm just trying to lead my family.
Mhm.
Lead my son,
Mhm.
lead whoever is with me as my partner.
Mhm.
You know, and let God lead me the rest of the way.
Mhm. So I'm curious, would you be interested in like kind of stepping into like a I guess a therapist or a counseling role just for like rehabilitation or like just like
I want to do more for families.
for families?
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to because I feel like so a lot of people, from our side come from broken homes and
Mhm.
some mindset of that. So the family dynamic is not there. So my idealism is well, if you change it to change a community, you have
Mhm.
to change the family.
Mhm.
If you change the family, it's going to change your community automatically because if
Mhm.
you got a healthy husband and a healthy wife taking
Mhm.
care of two healthy kids,
Mhm.
right? That influence is going to touch on their friends,
Mhm.
their neighbors, because they're going to see them how they move.
Mhm.
You're going to be like, oh man, those are the Johnsons or the
Mhm.
Jones. They always they eat. Oh, look at little Tommy. He always getting accolades and
Mhm.
he's always doing that. But my point is, it's connecting to somebody's teaching
Mhm.
somebody else about what a family dynamic is, even if
Mhm.
they don't have it. They're
Mhm.
teaching them what it is. It's
Mhm.
planting a seed. So when that
Mhm.
person gets of age to have their family, they at least have an idealism of what it is.
Mhm.
Now it may take work. They may not know the work, and
Mhm.
that's why I'm here.
Mhm. Man, the family dynamic is important too because it's like we talked about generational curses and things that like are like patterns and things that keep getting learned by different generations. What are some things that like you've experienced or like noticed that just like specifically needs to like change or like in your come up if you're comfortable asking?
Oh, like in the community, or like, are you saying like in my own life, in my own like?
In the community, however you're comfortable answering.
I would say in our community wise, I just feel like we need more villages.
Mm.
You know what I mean? More TPs. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? More people coming together as a family.
Mhm.
More community, being a community and taking care of the community.
Mhm.
Because if you have a community taking care of a community, you have stable environment.
Mhm.
That means the neighbors know the kids. The
Mhm.
neighbors know the neighbors. You know,
Mhm.
neighbors know Johnny down the block that's around the quay. Daddy,
Mhm.
so we go over there and kick it with him every once in a while type thing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, we need that. We
Mhm.
don't. We're so separate now, and it's
Mhm.
sad. I get the COVID situation happened. I trust me. I do. I understand, and that isolated so many people. You know what I
More.
mean? And I get it because I was locked up, isolated. So I
Mhm.
understand in
Mhm.
isolation. Ain't that crazy? Um,
Mhm.
but we need that. So there's a way we can do it where we come together as people.
Mhm.
Because I've noticed there's a lot of anxiety out here right now. And like I have anxiety, but I don't have it that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I thought I was gonna come home and freak out. You know what I'm saying? Now those days, like I'm not gonna lie to you. My word of the day for the home when I came home was I'm home. That's
Mhm.
all I said. Home.
Mhm.
They were like, bro, what you gotta say, bro? I mean, how you feel, bro? How you feel? I'm home. That's my
Mhm.
answer. You feel
Mhm.
me? So for that, that was my answer. But um, there's so much anxiety out here. There's so much trauma that's out here, man. Like I've ran into a friend. Me and her have been talking recently, and like she told me about what she's been going through. I've been gone. Like
Mhm.
her passing of her mother and her father passed away.
Mhm.
You know, she dealing with trauma at her own, problems with her housing and stuff like that. And she was telling me about boyfriends, all this, and I'm like, damn.
It's a
Mhm.
lot.
And I said, bro, then I talked to my brother and I was like, bro, like, what's up with it? He's like, bro, that's like everybody right now.
Mhm.
Huh? um, and then I walked down the street not too long ago and I just, when you used to walk like down the street when kid, just a block, and you walk down it, you just feel this certain energy. You walk down that block. Bro, I walked down Alberta because I used to walk down Alberta all the time.
Mhm.
And it's just felt this isolation and anger and weird energy
Mhm.
around there. And I was like, bro, is this what it's like now?
Mhm.
You can feel people watching you,
Mhm.
seeing what you're doing. You're like, okay,
Mhm.
it's sad.
It's interesting you say it because it's like I feel that I feel like sometimes in walking places and being places like you can like it's thick, like you can feel the energy of just like people are going through it, like people, and this is the thing that's like goes back to empathy and like understanding is like it starts with the foundation of like yes the family dynamic of how like we're being brought up and
Right.
how um, we're dealing with trauma and how we're coping and how we're responding to kids, how we're responding to our loved ones when they're hurting. Like it's all of that. It's all of that. And it's just sad is not like a word that fully describes what it is. Um
We're all carrying a lot more grief than
mhm.
we were used to.
A lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of pain. A lot of pain.
Mhm. Oof. I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
This is heavy right now.
Mhm. No,
This has
for
been a
real.
whole heavy conversation the whole way through.
Mhm. But it's real. It's what people are going through. And it's to just see that like COVID definitely separated things a lot more. But it's just like again, as a society, we're just like not where we need to be as far as all the different systems that we're dealing with, especially like incarceration and like everything. It's just systematically wrong. We got to be more community and in tune with each other.
Right.
Um, but I appreciate y'all because like we're able to even just like have this conversation and like us speaking and like talking about the issues and even just like speaking out the truth and like the positive.
Right.
I think that like I'm trying to manifest a better society, like, and envision what that looks like. I know the world is just like a crazy place, but it's just like, like
Yeah.
there's kids coming up and like people that are gonna grow up in this. And it's like, how do we make that better?
I mean, I feel bad sometimes because like with my son, like not to say it in any way of any wrongness, like let's say this right now, I just feel bad that brought my son into this world in the way it is right now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I have to raise a child in a way of so much turmoil
Hmm.
and so much negativity and confusion and confliction,
Hmm.
and trying to raise a child in the midst of that. Ooh,
Hmm.
like I just sometimes I can't imagine how far I have to go with him.
Hmm.
Like where am I gonna go with him? Because how the world is and how bad it is,
Hmm.
that means that there's so much trouble that's there for him as
Hmm.
well. There's so much lanes that he got to go, and I have to make sure that he don't go that way as his father, because I don't need him going the path that I've went anyway. I I got to make it better for him. Period. And the world is crazy right now, so it's so hard to even just take care of yourself, and then on top of that, bring a child into that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the kids and the teachers, like our kids are spending all day at school with other kids that are also going through a lot. The teachers are going through a lot, and it's a crazy place
It's
to
just
be.
crazy.
Hmm. I'm wondering like what are like if you have some like what are some ways that like you ground yourself in this understanding of like
What's going on?
what's going on and knowing that like you got to be driving forward always this like despite like how hard everything is and where the world is at. What are like some things, maybe affirmations or even maybe books that you read or like things that you
That's funny you said that. I got my devotions that are in my bag right now. So every day I read my devotion.
mm,
I take a time anywhere, even if I'm out. If say I'm out and I find a park, go sit down and read my devotion and take that time in peace. And I
mm,
meditate on that. So that way, as I go upon the day,
mm-hmm,
I let that sink in, that knowledge sink in. And and then as well as I said in the documentary itself, I said, I told my son that I am black, I am strong, I am loved, I
mm,
am successful, I'm handsome, I am me, and mommy and daddy and God loves me. I say that to myself. So that way, in me, let's go.
mm-hmm,
I got this.
mm-hmm,
I've already obtained it. I am success. I got this.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm.
How do you ground yourself, Taya?
How do I ground myself? Man, I mean, I'll say affirmations in the mirror. I'll talk to myself. Um, I feel like life has been kind of crazy these past weeks. That's funny that you asked, cause like I feel like I gotta
ground.
reground myself again because I got really busy and just off that. But a lot of times I'll like meditate or just like if I'm not working, like I'm trying to make some beats or just like really just keep myself around those that I love.
Right.
Um, but definitely taking time for just like I'll wake up and like I'll always try to make sure that like before I go out into the world, before I start my day, if I'm going out to the office or even if I'm just working from home, I just like take time for myself to just like speak and like be kind of just with myself.
Right. I feel you.
But you know, yeah. What do you do, Nate?
Um,
Yoga.
I don't always.
Dad yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's been really hard to figure out a new routine, even though COVID's been happening for years now, because I
Mm-hmm.
went so into dealing with my kids mode with the ages they're at. young and stuff. Um, but getting my alone time in the morning is my thing. Like I wake up before everybody and have coffee by myself, and if that doesn't happen, then I got to figure out a reset a little bit later in the morning. But as long as that happens, I'm usually good because it feels like I'm always juggling a lot of things, and so like staying centered is really makes everything go so much better, especially with parenting.
Oh,
That'd just knock you off
I
center.
can't even imagine.
So
Yeah.
No, it ain't fun. Believe that.
Whew.
Yeah. They don't come with a menu. Believe that. They don't come with a menu.
No. They don't even come with like troubleshooting.
Right.
Nothing. You're just winging it.
Curious, any other questions or things like that that you got, Nate?
No, I'm good. I really appreciate you coming down and it's so nice to just hang out.
Thank you.
Out here in the free world, right?
I'm
You're home,
home.
man. It's really good.
I appreciate it.
You
Like
look good.
I'm really thankful that I had this time with you. You know what I mean? And like, it's a blessing. I didn't think that it would evolve this far. I prayed on it, hopefully, but it's beautiful to be able to be here and actually get here and be like, hey, I did this with you.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. I know. It's like we put a lot of energy and attention to it, but there were no promises at any point. But I appreciate the work you did in there, and that we've created this cool thing that we're going to be able to tell the world about pretty soon here.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's cool.
Yeah. No, I wanted to say that I really appreciate meeting you. I've been a fan and listening to you,
Thank you.
on the outside, but it's beautiful to see your face and hear your words and really just sit with you. So I appreciate you and thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I want to give you the opportunity this last bit here to just maybe give a shout out to anything that you got going on, any pages, any people. Like, yeah, I'm gonna give that to you.
I'm just gonna give a shout out to my boy Trig, to my boy Mo, man. Free my boys, man. They need to get out, bro. Especially my boy Trig. He's the engineer. Yeah, I said it for you, brother. So my boy Mo, man. Keep your head up, bro. I got you. Just get home. Really, man. I ain't got no IG. I ain't got none of that right now. I'm trying to stay low key as best as I can. But if you do, as soon as I do get my IG and everything, bro, just look me up. I'm 3 low. You know what I'm saying? Everything's a blessing, and thank God, thank my mama, thank life, thank my father, thank my family. My son, his mother, she get on my nerves, but I'm just thankful I'm here. Appreciate it though.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that's where we're gonna close.
Yeah. Thank you, Taya.
But yeah,